This is gonna work. So I'm back. Not that I went anywhere. I've just been healing from shattering my clavicle. You see that? Yeah, they do nice work these days, I tell you what. So we're gonna get back to this build. Yeah, this is Moab, and she's ready for her baggies. However, they never came from Germany due to tariffs, and well, we had to give up because they sent them back. So I've taken some leather bags from this old bike, and you know what? This is very much going to work. So I said, whoa, these are even smaller than the dimensions I had before. So I just kept taking this apart and more apart down to the most bare bones that I can get this thing. So here it is. There's your power generating source, your single cylinder, 2-cycle, 2-stroke engine. There's your carburetor. There's where the oil goes. And this little doohickey, that's a solenoid that simply changes your throttle for you. Because there's an eco mode. And they're like, oh, we'll make an eco mode. We'll just put it in there so it just turns down the throttle. You go, wait, I could have just turned down the throttle myself. Yeah, but we're going to leave that on there. Just because I want all these switches and everything to work the way that it did when it was that. All right, so this will be sweet. This is a really great fit. This gas tank is a pretty okay fit. I have risers underneath there, but what I'm going to do ultimately in the end, outside of, actually screwing this in and making a mount for it, is you see this? I bought some of this stuff. And what this is I'm just going to take it out. And you have to activate it. Bag or no bag. And no, this is not a tampon. Although, I gotta admit, it's pretty close. But what this does is it auto fills with foam around any space you put it in. So that'll fill all these gaps in here. How cool is that, right? And it'll go, and you do this when you send packages of strange sizes. And so you just put the packet or the item in there on top, and then you release it, and it's really cool. I used to use it in my business, so I said, well, that's perfect. That's what I need for this. I'm gonna need to kind of, once I get this all done, I want to just take up the rest of the space so it doesn't shift, move, it seems more permanent. So that's what I'm doing on that side. On this side, heat shield came in yesterday. So that's where we're at. This is my heat shielding. Got this off of the little Azon, and I haven't stuck it on yet, as you see. I did stick a couple pieces I had left over. It almost made a perfect fit. I bought it of this size, and it just, man, look at that. So here's the plan. I'm gonna stick this on the side. I'm gonna squeeze that thing back in, and it's so tight. Here's what we're gonna have to do. So this thing goes in there so darn tight that I'm actually going to have to cut holes in the side of the bag for right there for the, this is the intake on the carburetor. So those are gonna go outside of the bag. I'm gonna then reattach the air intake and filter on the outside of the bag. Cool, right? All right, and I go, oh, dude, all right, so you covered like burning up, but what about the exhaust? Well, you see right here, I'm gonna cut a hole here, and we're gonna, well, okay, maybe here-ish. Anyways, we'll figure that out. But point is, this will poke through. And I actually ordered an even bigger silencer. I don't know if I'm gonna use it, but I wanted to see if I could kind of reroute it a little bit. But either way, that's all you're gonna see coming out of this thing is this. I'll need to cut a hole, of course, for the oil, but it does stick out just perfectly. The wires will fortunately just lay flat and go in there. Now, last piece, how do you start it? Well, there used to be a pull starter over here, and I took it off. So now I'm gonna add an electric starter. So you can buy kind of an electric starter kit for a go-kart on Amazon or whatever. And so I did. Is it gonna work? I don't know. In theory, yeah. So that's all I need to know is I know I can make it work. Maybe that's not the exact right part that I need, but I think it is. And if it's not, I'll try again. But I know I can get this electric start to the point that I'm gonna just put a switch on the handlebar of this bike, and then the bags will be in the back. So this is so cool. All right, so you'll put all these together. They're gonna go on the back of this. This will basically be a portable Jenny. I mean, we'll call it the Jenny bags. Trademark Jenny bags. And so, yeah, I'll have bags out that I can remove at any time. And I'll have to create some plugins or something Obviously, I'm going to have to run wire and fuel in between the two, and that's going to take a little bit of effort, but it's not that big of a deal. But I'll make some new wires. But if I want to have a switch on the handlebar, here's a great example on my baby run. That's for the headlights. It doesn't come with one, so I added one. So I might just even steal this one or just buy a new one. But point is, that's all I need. Just start the Jenny. Let's go. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty darn sure from my test so far, I should be able to start the Jenny while I'm actually riding this bike. Yeah, shit you not. So if you're like, I got 10% left, hey, no worries. I don't need to even stop. That's going to be amazing. So if you can think about this is going to be the coolest thing ever. So you go, dude, this is the craziest idea ever. You're going to take an electric bike and make it a hybrid adventure bike. Just buy a fucking adventure bike. Like, yeah, I get it. I don't want to do that though. I want to push the limits of electrics. And right now, range is their biggest issue. And when I look at Jennies and basically classic engines, well, they make them too big. They want everybody to think it's bigger, it's more powerful. I'm like, can we just make like a tiny little rotary? I know they've done it, but that would generate, at least 1,000 watts, and then the tiniest doesn't exist. But maybe this is kind of the first foray into why it should. So if I can squeeze in a 1,000-watt generator into a couple of tiny, and I mean these are tiny saddlebags. We're talking, I don't even have 6 inches of width over here. 6 inches, that's it. That's why everything's got to sort of poke out the side. But point is, it proves this is easily possible. And you'll see when I put all this together, it will work. How far can I go? How well will it work? I don't know. And that's the fun part. I'm going to find out. And my goal is to take it from here in Denver, Colorado, and however long it takes me to get there and back and enjoy my time, I'm making it to Moab, damn it. Yeah. I'm probably like a gallon of gas and back, if that, because I really think that it takes so little. And I mean, a gallon, this thing doesn't even hold a gallon, right? I don't even know if I'll even have to fill up. Let's find out. This is going to be a really fun experiment. I'm right there. I'm going to start putting this together. I'm going to glue that in right now, and we're going to keep going until I get this done, and then we're going to play with it. Now, of course, I've got a shattered clavicle, so I need to wait a little bit, but it's a great time to just build some cool stuff. So that's what I'm going to do, and stay with me. You'll see as I continue to build this. See you guys. This is going to work.